Hello and welcome to another episode of Live Ayurvedic Podcast. Today we are talking about sleep. Sleep is one of the pillars of health and one that many of us tend to take for granted. One that we skimp by on getting as little as we can on, or at least we do that until we maybe hit our, late 30s and 40s and start to notice that if you didn't get a good night's of sleep, the next day people are going to look at you and be like, are you sick? What happened to you? And you just say, oh, I didn't sleep well last night. But that's how important sleep is. And Ayurveda has considered it one of the three pillars of health. And now, holistic medicine in general, all the ancient systems, of course, have considered sleep. But now, modern medicine and functional medicine as well are giving sleep its due importance. Whatever your health goal may be, whether you are trying to hit a fitness goal or lose weight or manage a chronic health condition like diabetes or your blood sugar balance or your hormones, or if you're recovering from an illness or injury or surgery, whatever you are striving for in your life, if you are not giving sleep its due importance, you are not going to hit your goal as easily. You may be working out and eating really good meals and organic food, but if you're not paying attention to sleep, not getting good quality, deep sleep consistently, you are going to maybe not see the results that you're looking for. And sleep really impacts every area of our life, whether it is how you perform at work or school, your memory, your moods, your ability to show up in your friendships and relationships and at work, and of course your physical health as well, right? From your hormones, metabolism, blood sugar balance, everything is immediately, and immunity, right? You don't get enough sleep, you're more susceptible to catching infections or falling sick. So I have Dr. Ram here with me again today, and we want to explore everything that Ayurveda offers about sleep. And so I hope that this episode is insightful and you learn something or remember and try to apply something. So I think to kick off, I want to talk about the one thing that Ayurveda does differently than every other system of healing is the importance it places on the timing of when you go to sleep. We're not just saying get 8 hours of sleep, but we're saying very specifically often that you sleep at this time of the day, at this hour, and wake up at this time of the day and this hour. So let's explore that a little bit.
Yeah, the concept of going to bed in the evening around at the kapha hours, predominant hours of the evening. Most of us like probably feel that little bit of that yawning, heaviness and sleep around 8:30, 9:30. That's when you should switch off and call it a day and hit the bed for a quality sleep. If you don't, and for many of us, depending on your body type, there's difficulty to fall asleep, or we go into those emotional worries and anxieties and many things, and basically it impacts your sleep. So going to bed that during the kapha hours helps you fall asleep easier, stay asleep longer, and gives you a overall quality of sleep. And it aligns with the biological clocks, the circadian rhythm, and the rhythm that your human body follows and aligns with the nature's own rhythm. So we emphasize a lot because it really enhances and improves the overall quality of sleep.
So the kapha hours are from 6 p.m., kind of peaking at 8 p.m. And until 10. And then 10 p.m. onwards is when pitta energy kicks in again. And this is a more energizing, alert energy. And so I personally notice that if I'm awake at 11:30 or close to midnight, I'm wide awake. Sometimes I'm hungry. So you catch on this second wind, and you might feel like, oh, I'm wide awake. I can solve a complicated math problem right now. But really, you should be sleeping. And that pitta energy and alertness is meant to be doing something else in your body.
A lot more, because during a good quality deep sleep is when your healing, recovering, and repairing happens, or detoxifying, happens within the brain, like the lymphatic, and the metabolism, the digestion, the processing. And there's a lot more happening, the healing of your nervous system regulation, your tissue repairs on every tissues. We're not just talking about tissues of your nervous tissues, or your muscle tissues and your digestive tissues, and every system functions optimally in order to help you with your all levels of metabolism and digestion and processing.
Yeah. So if you're awake in those pitta hours, you're taking away from, your different organs that should be digesting your emotions from the day. You're not supposed to be eating another meal at midnight. You're really supposed to be digesting the thoughts and emotions that came up during your day and everything you consumed through the senses. So another thing related to this concept of timing is related to the timing of our meals.
That's right. So the quality of sleep will be impacted based on the time that you eat. Like there should be a gap at least 2 to 3 hours minimum after your last meal till you hit the bed, because it will have an impact. And because the metabolism, your digestive system has to work harder, and what you eat, what you drink, and what you consume through your five senses will have a direct impact on your quality of sleep. That is why we say reduce anything that is going to aggravate, stimulate your internal system.
So, going to bed at a certain time, eating kind of, they say you eat while the sun is up. And so
Preferably,
yeah,
yeah.
your digestion starts to diminish and slow down once the sun sets. And of course, in winter, the sun is, setting by 4:35 and maybe even earlier, depending on where you live. So it may not be feasible to eat that early. But again, thinking about that 6:30, 6 to 6:30 as your dinner time, wrapping up by 6:30 so that by 9:30 you're ready to start to unwind and go to
What is
bed.
practical for you? I mean, I think make it yours. What does that mean to you? Like, how can I, 3 hours would be ideal, but if you can't do 3 hours, 2 hours. If you can do 2 hours based on the kind of work that you do, and you may have little ones running and wanting your attention, and you're not able to do what you have to do, just make it whatever it means for you. Make it yours. Personalize it for you.
Yep. And what about the timing of waking up? Of course, if you are able to go to sleep at this 10 o'clock time, you're naturally waking up at dawn or right before sunrise. And in Ayurveda, we call this the Brahma Muhurta.
That's right.
And it's a very precious time of the day.
Yeah, so Brahma Muhurta, concept of Brahma Muhurta is rising when you have the purest of the clearest of the mind, having a clear mind. When from away from all these clutters and distractions, you're focused, you're calmer, you're clearer. I think just and having a very clarity. It's almost like a sense of clarity and calmness, and that actually sets up your day. And it also, the morning sun has been shown to have a direct impact on your melatonin, which has a direct impact on your quality sleep later the next day. And then it also helps you reduce your cortisol, and it also kind of ignites that little fire. We call it the agni. With that morning sun, the rising sun, it arises and helps you be more alive for the day.
Yeah, so that Brahma Muhurta is considered a very auspicious time as
That's
well.
right.
It's very sattvic. It's when naturally your mind is in. It's a cosmic time that aligns with being spiritual. So
That's
it's a really good time to meditate or journal or be creative. And I noticed that sometimes if you do have an early flight and you wake up,
Yeah.
really early,
That's
you
right.
actually feel not tired. And sometimes if I slept late and I wake up in the kapha time, which is from 6 a.m. building up to 10 a.m. And if you wake up at 8:39, there is that kapha quality of being heavy and groggy. And even if you've had 8 hours of sleep, you feel like, oh, I don't want to get out of bed. You're moving really slowly. So it's really interesting to notice that waking up before 6 a.m., before, along with sunrise, before sunrise, brings you lightness and clarity in your day and in your energy. And then if you're waking up at the kapha time, you're experiencing a little bit of that kapha lethargy and heaviness.
That's right.
There's this concept of sleep hygiene, which we have all heard about or seen on our Instagram feeds, and so we'll just touch upon a few of the most important ones, and also a few Ayurvedic tips for improving the quality of your sleep. And we really, one of the things that disrupt our sleep is the exposure we have to bright lights, artificial lights, and our screens. So you can't really imagine that you're going to be on a phone and really stimulating your mind, and then go to bed and your mind is not going to be able to shut down immediately. So creating that wind down at least an hour of time, so if you're aiming to be asleep by 10, starting at 9, you're starting to do certain practices that you can call your sleep hygiene or your bedtime rituals, and you are basically reducing your exposure to bright screens, whether it means turning on, really ideally putting TV off and putting your screens away, or at least wearing a blue light blocker, or adjusting the filters on your devices to not be pure white or pure blue light. And also certain other beautiful bedtime rituals that you can start to apply using all of your five senses.
Totally, and I just winding down based on that, and again having relaxing and calming, and reducing the aggravated or stimulated system. So Ayurvedically, we recommend doing self massages with oil. It is highly recommended for people with Vata and Pitta, and for even for Kaphas, but more so for people with Vata and Pitta, the body type. Doing the self massage, if not the whole body, at least even the sole of your feet and the scalp, which has a very calming and relaxing and give effect on the body and the mind and your senses, and helps you sleep better. And also a practice of nasya, a gentle couple drops of these, customized or generic nasya oil which is available these days, and which you put it in the nose, just sniffle a couple drops, gently massage, do a gentle breathing, and just massage them around these areas in order to open up your sinuses and help you with that. That also has a positive impact on your quality of sleep. Simple things like that. And then also just a warm, soothing drink, if nothing at all, a warm cup of your favorite tea that has a relaxing effect and cooling and calming, or grounding effect. Yeah. So that's another option.
And then, of course, there is the golden milk, which is a trend that is really
right.
traditionally,
Yes.
whole milk
Yeah.
with a little pinch of turmeric, maybe black pepper in there, and also could be different other spices like nutmeg, or saffron, which
Yeah.
has these beautiful effects on beauty and sleep.
Some herbs like brahmi and shankapuspi, along with a little bit of the clarified butter called ghee. Yeah.
Yes, and if dairy is not your thing, almond milk is an option as
Yeah.
well, or really any other non-dairy milk. But yeah, what about the other senses? So we spoke a little bit about massage and foot massage, which is actually a very, I think, one of the more impactful techniques is massaging the soles of your feet with the warm oil, or even if you don't want to use the oil, just really just getting in there and releasing the tension out of your
That's right.
feet.
That's right. I mean, I can vouch from it based on the results my clients have seen, which is very impactful. And many of the clients who've come, nowadays we wear these devices, rings or other fitness gadgets to monitor your sleep. And when I ask them to do these few things, simply massaging the sole of their feet, or doing a gentle breathing, or it doesn't have to be a very long breathing practices. Just 90 seconds to 2 minutes can significantly improve the quality of sleep. And they have noticed that as soon as they start doing this, and I think these are so easy to implement, and yet the result is very immediate, noticeable.
Is there a technique of breathing I'm guessing it's not any of the energizing
No,
ones.
definitely not recommended to do those highly energizing ones unless you have the tendency to be very congested. It would be good to do that, but end it with always the alternative nostril or just nice deep belly breathing. It shouldn't be very stimulating, not too vigorous, more like shitali or cooling, breathing in nice inhale all the way to your diaphragm using your vagus nerves, re-stimulating that to create a deeper calmness and stillness in your body.
Yeah, and then maybe using aromatherapy,
That's right.
just setting that ambience of, if you're somebody like me who can be very vata pitta and my mind can sometimes be overactive, worrying about what I need to do or what I didn't get done, then journaling is a beautiful practice of just getting things out of your mind and writing down your stresses and worries, or maybe even writing down what you need to do tomorrow, and then kind of saying, okay, I'm done. I'm done worrying about this.
Yeah.
It doesn't serve me anymore to think about it. I'm going to pick it up tomorrow. And so, really releasing your worries of the day. And so, then having some diffuser or some essential oils, or even some meditation music is going to start be part of these winding down rituals, meditation music or chanting or some guided meditation even.
Yeah, simple practices.
Yeah, they also, I mean, a warm bath is also supposed to be something that can help release tension and help you ground. I think the temperature of which your room is and the blankets and your mattress, all of those, especially for women, I think play
Fair
a
enough.
role,
Yeah.
because I would sometimes wake up really too hot and then kick off my blanket and then feel cold. And so you're kind of tossing and turning with temperature. So it's important to figure out what your body needs in terms of keeping yourself cool or warm enough as well.
Yeah, I think regularizing that based on your body type and the time, and that's the advantage today, right? None of us are just fully out in the nature, but still finding that, the rhythm that actually enhances your sleep based on your ability to regulate the temperature. I think it's one of the modern days gift, I must say. Even though I'm not the biggest fan of just always being in a regulated temperature, but it can help.
Yep. So we spoke a little bit about herbs, but maybe just mentioning, I know that ashwagandha, for example, is a supplement that many people just take. They are just like, oh, I've heard about ashwagandha, I'm going to take it.
Yeah.
And it is one of the herbs that help with sleep and is a nervine and adaptogen. And there are several other herbs. But
Yeah.
Ayurvedically, we don't necessarily just recommend retail prescribing yourself
Correct.
single herbs. Maybe you want to look at a formulation.
Yeah, because I think the effect, there is the individual benefits of these herbs, but Ayurvedically we always use them in the yoga form. It's a combination of cumulative effect of the formulation. So Ayurvedically, the ashwagandha with milk along with brahmi and shankapuspi and a little bit of a black pepper, or whether it is used with jatamamsi and valerian. I know these are multiple herbal names that we use it to improve the quality of sleep, but it is always recommended to use it in combination. And my recommendation is to always work with a practitioner, herbalist, or your medical doctor who are more aware of what how they can customize it for you.
For your
um,
constitution,
for
because
your constitution,
ashwagandha may not be appropriate for
for
certain people.
everybody. Yeah,
It is warming and it can be a heavier herb. And
it's difficult
so,
to digest.
yeah, that's why when it is mixed with a different herb, they kind of balance each other out, and
That's
it
right.
needs to be suitable for you.
Yeah.
But also, there, we mentioned there's also the concept of there are certain Ayurvedic therapies where you can go to your local Ayurvedic clinic and
Yes.
receive Shirodhara, which is a beautiful treatment
Yeah.
across the forehead,
Yeah.
that kind of activates your parasympathetic nervous system and really sends you into a deep, restful state.
It's like an aided meditation. It
Yeah.
takes you into a deeper level of your tapping into the different brain waves, which helps you relax deeper.
Yeah. So there's the Shirodhara, then there's Abhyanga, which is the full body warm oil massage.
Yeah.
which also is very relaxing and soothing and nourishing to the nervous system. And then there is,
The
receiving
nasya,
nasya from a practitioner is different than doing it at home, where
100%.
you're guided to certain breathing techniques and maybe a little larger amount of an herbalized oil. So those are therapies to consider if sleep is an issue that you are really looking to tackle and want to
Yes.
work with Ayurveda. You want to explore the herbs and the therapies with a practitioner.
Yeah.
But also, for me, I noticed that if I drink too much tea at night, I sometimes wake up to pee. And as we get older, that's different things that wake us up.
Yeah.
Maybe it's your partner who's snoring. Maybe you need to go to the bathroom. And so, what does Ayurveda help us with? In terms of if we wake up in the middle of the night.
I think, again, the all those practices and habits, the sleep habits always makes it better. But when you actually wake up, then simply doing this deep breathing, and gently humming. If you are by the partner, you don't want to disturb them, you can hum it in your head, and it actually has a very it helps you sleep better. It has happened to myself, and I have tried those, and I've seen results, most of the time. So I just wanted to say that it can those are the two things right away. And certain supplements to support also the herbal things that we talked about. Maybe you are lacking a certain supplements, and there could be a lot of things that's missing out in your body, and there could be other medical condition that you're going through. So, but one of the very highly talked about supplement is magnesium, right? So recommend, depending on your age factors, depending on what else is going on, calcium, magnesium, and zinc, supplements tends to really, really help improve the quality of sleep as well.
And then another thing I wanted to add is it may not be possible in your current life situation to be going to bed at 10 o'clock. Whether it is that you have a job that has late nights or even night shifts, in those cases, just do the best that you can.
That's
If you are working in the middle and have odd hours, you're coming home at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m., the best thing you can do is, if you need to eat something, have a really light, soupy dinner, and then go to sleep soon after. Don't stay awake on your phone or unwinding. Just try and go to bed as soon as possible and make up your hours of sleep. And maybe even, you need to take a nap during the day to
It is
do
highly
that.
recommended anyways.
Yeah.
For those who are not able to sleep due to whatever reason, because of illness, because of work, because of the life circumstances, maybe you have babies, then catching up your sleep, later during the day is highly, highly recommended. And,
Yeah.
maybe just even having a practice of yoga nidra, and, just getting help from some yoga specialist and yoga therapist and yoga practitioners is highly recommended.
Yeah. It makes me think about my dad who, for many, many years, worked night shifts. And I saw over the years, and even up to this point, the impact it had on his health. And for him being a more Avata, Pitta type constitution, it really depleted his nervous system. And to this day, his sleep is disrupted. And so, if night shifts or late nights are part of your job, I personally encourage you to think about an exit plan for that. It's probably feasible when you're younger for a few years, but maybe hopefully it's not a plan long term to have many, many years of not sleeping during the night and working to correct that. I hope this episode was informative, and maybe you already knew all these things, but some of them were a reminder. So I hope that you're going to take what you heard today and apply one or two, three things starting today into your bedtime routine and your timing of sleeping as well. And the quality of your day really starts with the night before. So if you want to go after your goals and your dreams and hit your health and life goals, you can't ignore sleep and what time you're going to sleep. So that's kind of my wishes for everyone to Focus on
Totally.
your sleep and give sleep
Sleep.
its due importance.
Totally, totally. And don't wait to be, yes, perfect to start with these simple habits and practices. Don't delay. Don't try to be perfect. Start one habit, one practice at a time to the best capacity that you can do, and
Yeah.
sleep well. And connect with us if we can be of any help.
Okay. Thank you for
Namaste. Thank you.
listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Thank you.